The word Jannah actually originally comes from two letters, which is Jim and Noon. And these letters are used to attribute to something that is hidden, something that the eye cannot see, something that we don't witness. Hence, you have Janeen, the word Janeen, which means the fetus in the womb. And you have the word Janan, which means the heart. So Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, He used this word in several places. And we find in the Quran, He refers to Jannah. And it is that which is hidden. And interestingly, Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal has made the condition for our entry into paradise hidden as well. And that is the heart. So the condition of the heart is what determines whether we will be in Jannah or we will be in the hellfire. That is why Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. On that day, the day of judgment, the wealth and children will not benefit a person. They will not benefit a person, except for the one who comes with a clean heart, a pure heart, a sincere heart. Someone who genuinely lived his life for Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. And if you want to ensure that you are genuine for the sake of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, then the hidden deeds are what are your determination. It is your standard. How are you with Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal when you are all alone? Hence Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made tahajjud, which is in the darkest hour of the night, hidden away from the eyes of the people, for that which is hidden, Yawmul Qiyamah, which is Jannah, that which is hidden and unseen to the eye. So He made the unseen for the unseen. And interestingly, in addition to this, if you want to ensure serious reward with Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, then that which is within your heart, while you stand in public, while you communicate to other people, and they view you, where is your heart? It is with Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. Your heart is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What do we mean by this? You bear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your heart and mind. You are remembering Allah constantly. You make a mistake, you slip up, what happens? You seek the forgiveness of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing those who are righteous, He actually goes as far as saying, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذكروا الله فاستغفروا لذنوبهم. And those who commit immorality, who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about? He's talking about the believers, the righteous ones. He says, when they commit immorality, someone may say, the two don't add up. Believers shouldn't be committing immorality, but yes, we are human beings, we commit sins. Dhakarullah. They remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immediately. فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. So that leads them to seeking forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, you see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says they remember Allah, and that leads them to action. That is another point of judgment for yourself. Judge yourself. Ask yourself that when I am sincere, now that I believe I am sincere, what fruit has this sincerity borne? Do I find myself more honest with the people? Do I find myself checking my heart regularly? Do I find myself performing my salah? Do I find myself giving my zakah? Do I find myself fasting when I need to fast? Do I find myself seeking forgiveness from other human beings when I need to do so? Because what happens when you are sincere, that overrides everything. Your ego, your personality, your being. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. Say, O Muhammad. And who is he addressing? None other than the most pure human being to ever walk this earth. He says, say, O Muhammad, indeed my salah, wa nusuki, and my sacrifice, wa mahyaya, and my entire life, wa mamati, and my death, lillah, it belongs to Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, Rabbil Alameen, Lord of the worlds. Lord of the worlds. It belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My existence is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether I am in the street and people are viewing me, or whether I am alone at night and nobody views me, my existence belongs to Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. My heart is with Him. There is another point, and we keep talking about the unseen, because remember that the unseen for the unseen, the heart which is unseen to the people, has been made the condition or the standard of judgment for your entry into the unseen, which is Jannah. When you are alone and nobody is watching you, Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, He tells us something as well. He tells us something again. You want to judge yourself, you want to understand where you are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then look at this condition. When you're all alone, nobody is watching you, nobody knows. What do? Are you going to be up to mischief? Are you going to do that which now actually breaks the sanctity of your existence with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone? Or are you going to now say, let me please Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes those who are not righteous and those who don't care about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees of them. He describes them. يستخفون من الناس ولا يستخفون من الله وهو معهم إذ يبيتون ما لا يرضى من القول. They hide away from the people and they don't hide away from Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, yet He is with them while they are making those evil plans and decisions. وَهُوَ مَعَهُمْ إِذْ يُبَيِّتُونَ مَا لَا يَرْضَى مِنَ الْقَوْلِ. When they say that which is displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where do you find yourself? When you are all alone and you are on your phone and you are viewing content. What content do you view? Is it that which is pleasing to Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, or is it that which is displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Okay, you've made mistakes. You've committed sins in the past. You want to get rid of these sins. They make you feel guilty every time you do them. Have you taken steps to get rid of that? Do you keep your mobile device outside of your room? Do you try and tell people around you, keep this device and I will? Have you taken steps to keep away from that haram? If you have, remember the verse where Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal says that those who commit immorality, what happens? They seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives them. They seek forgiveness for Allah because they felt within their hearts that what we did was offensive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is a point of judgment at which you can judge yourself and ask yourself that am I actually sincere with Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal? And remember that when you are sincere with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this sincerity carries out into your relationships as well. So you will find that you are sincere with your spouse. You are honest with your spouse. You are honest with your children. You are sincere with them. You are just with them. And when you slip up and you make a mistake, then what do? You simply seek forgiveness. Why? I made a mistake. I'm a human being. I seek forgiveness. Why does a person seek forgiveness from other human beings? It is the ultimate show of sincerity. Why? Because as human beings, when we are arrogant, we don't want to stomp on our ego. We don't want to say, you are wrong, O insan. You are wrong, O nafs. You don't want to say that. Why don't you want to say that? Because you are a human being and you want to be right all the time. You are a human being and you want to be right all the time. But when you can say, I slipped up, I made a mistake, I seek your forgiveness, and then you seek the forgiveness of Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, Allah sees your heart. Allah knows what you did. Allah knows the fight that you overcame in order to say, forgive me, I'm sorry, I was wrong. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes this when addressing the believers. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين لله شهداء بالقسط يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين. O you who have believed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not say, O Muslims. Why? Because He's addressing your iman. Where is your iman? It is within your heart, it is hidden, it is unseen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is appealing to it. He says, stand up for justice. وَلَوْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Even if it is against yourself. This is the hardest part. Many of us skip to the next one, which is my parents and those who are close to me. I should stand up for justice. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, when it is against yourself. You know, how many a time do we know that I'm wrong in this situation? What I've done is wrong. Maybe you've wronged your 3-year-old child. And what happens? You don't apologize. Why? How can I apologize to my child? I was right. They were wrong. What is that? That's your ego. You knew that you were wrong, but you refused to apologize to the child based on the fact that the child was small and you were actually bigger than them. This is the attitude that Azar, the father of Ibrahim, had with Ibrahim when he said, I will not believe. And he saw that Ibrahim walked out of the fire. He walked out of the fire completely safe and secure. But what did he do? He says, no, I choose to disbelieve in Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. And that is the danger of choosing yourself over the truth. What happens? Over time, you actually normalize this idea that my ego matters more than the truth. My ego matters more than that which matters to Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. One of the greatest ways and best ways to become sincere is to surround yourself with honest, truthful and sincere people. When Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal speaks to us about the truth and about the honest ones, He doesn't only say, be honest. He doesn't only say, be truthful. But He says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَكُونُوا مَعَ الصَّادِقِينَ. O you who have believed, fear Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. Be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, the unseen. Be conscious of Allah within your heart and be with those who are truthful. See what happens? When it starts within your heart as a genuine intention to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, now be with those who are truthful. When you surround yourself with people who are truthful, people who practice honesty, practice good behavior towards each other, and practice good deeds together, then what happens is not only are you encouraged to remain with those people, and not only are you encouraged to be good towards them, your relationship carries into the afterlife, into the unseen. Why? Because you based it on the ultimate unseen, which is Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. Who is Allah? Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. So, that which is apparent to the people. But let us not forget that which is within our breasts, within our hearts. When we slip up, when we make a mistake, we seek forgiveness from Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. We've hurt somebody else, we seek forgiveness from that person. And we hope and pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us and enter us into Jannatul Firdaus. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that Jannah. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.